You know what, Dustin? Hold on. You'll appreciate me putting you on hold because I have to talk to somebody who, amazingly enough, is uglier than you. Corporal Kevin Holtry.
I didn't believe that.
Yes.
How thankfully, talk about a man that has a face for radio. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Nate.
sir.
If you say one more time, I got a face like a mitt. It's on you and I don't care.
Tell me about your wonderful woman.
Sometimes words hurt, my friend.
Tell me about your wonderful woman.
I can go on, but the thing that's most disturbing, and I think what people don't understand, is the fact that she grew up, and I'm not going to put her out on Front Street. She has her own personal life, but I know one of the reasons her support for law enforcement is she grew up in a household that was not good. It was a lot of domestic violence. And she tells the story of having to jump out of a second-story window in a town that only had 3 cops. And guess who came to help her? Well, the police, because her drunk father was, doing his thing. And the only people that helped her were the police. And she always remembers that. She's got her brothers works for fire department. And the other brother works in the military. And she's a patriot. 21 years ago, as a single woman, she took a business, she bought it, she cobbled it together, she made it into her brand, her DNA runs through it. I can tell you there's not one time, I can't think of one time, I tell her to not do it as much. Anytime anybody asks for anything from her, she does it. Breast cancer, CrossFit workouts, name it. The Aaron Butler Memorial Purple Heart Run, Mission 43, Veterans Group, she does it all. And all she wanted to do during this time, she was approached by Boise State. They polled the students. They wanted her there. But she always tells them, look, there was an incident 4 years ago when there was an active shooter down in Dallas that had shot, we all remember, in 2016, just prior to my shooting, shot about 4 or 5 people. She hung those flags up as a show of support for those first responders and those officers that were killed. Again, a month or, less than a month later, I was shot. And I've known Sarah since high school. We used to live, I was a fly fishing guide, and we lived in the same kind of cabin. I've just known her forever. And it breaks my heart to see her accused of being an avowed white supremacist just because she supports the police and is affiliated with me and loves me. And which,
by the way, we don't know why. I mean, honestly, we have no idea why she loves you. I mean, those of us that have spoken to you.
You love me, Nate. Don't lie.
How does it feel for you to have graduated from this place? Years later, this story happens.
Nate, I'm going to tell you, I was born in Nampa. I have tons of relatives there. That I went to Eustic Elementary, Lowell Scott Middle School, Meridian High School. I went in the Army to pay for my college. I get out. I go to Boise State. All of my Optimus football jamborees I played on the turf. My high school football games I played at Boise Stadium. It's such a part of me. And I went to a meeting last week, less than 5 days ago, and I sat there across the table in a conference room with these administrators, and I told them, I said, it makes me almost sick to my stomach that I attended that university. I've worked every football game. I know everybody in that parking lot. It just devastates me that this small group can have so much control over coffee and scones and pastry and patriotism. It devastates me. And I told them right to their face, I said, it makes me nauseous that I'm here talking to you, and we have to have this conversation. And I pointed to each and every one of them, and I said, shame on you. And I don't think they like me. It wasn't confrontational, but shame on them for what they allowed to happen. All she wanted to do in a time of pandemic is give jobs to these students. I sat there on Monday afternoon, Nate, while she was moving her equipment out that she had to pay for, that she couldn't afford to pay for. And those girls that worked there that were all students were crying because this happened. And it's absolutely sickening, and I can't take it anymore. It's driving me crazy.
Don't go anywhere. All right, I have to take a break. Corporal Kevin Holtry, and by the way, did you hear at the opening of the show? I told everybody how horrible of a human being you are. because you hate.
Yes, I heard you.
You hate it when I use you hate it when I use the other word. So Kevin Holtry's an awful human being. Corporal Kevin Holtry, who got shot at protecting the community, is not a hero. Okay, he's a jerk. He's a terrible person, and he's got a face that nobody would love. I don't even know what's wrong. You're just a bad man. There.
I am a bad man.
You're not a hero. All right, whatever.
All right, I'm not. I've never said I was. I'm just a good bullet catcher.
Stop it. Stop it. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. News
All
next.
right.
Broadcasting from the Empire Title Studios, we are 677 KDOI.
Sophie, how old are you? 21? I should know.
21.
21, yeah. It's like you're 3 days over 21. So this is, let me paraphrase what you said. Stories like this break your heart about your generation. Corporal Kevin Holtry joining us on the phone, partner in Big City Coffee. And by the way, somebody who's also been sampling the pastries. And might I add, I've seen pictures of you. And let's start at the beginning. All right. For those that are just joining the program now, and I wanna get through this, and you'll correct me if I get anything wrong. All right. There's a coffee shop that moves out of the library at Boise State at the Albertsons Library. And then, there's like a poll. They ask the student body, hey, which coffee shop do you want to move in here? And the students who took part in that questionnaire said Big City Coffee. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Full disclosure. Well, they participated. I think there's another coffee shop, and then she was second. One of them declined. She stepped up and said, I'll do it.
Okay, cool. All right. So how much does it cost? Because, listen, I just order coffee. All right, I assume everything in there costs a lot of money. How much does it cost for all the coffee makers, all the pastry stuff, and all that? How much are we talking ballpark?
It was more than she could really stand to spend during the pandemic because big city downtown had to close. There was a lot. It almost sunk her, and I mean, it's still to this day, it's not easy. It's very difficult. Obviously, all the people that were laid off, I mean, it goes on and on and on, but they came forward, and she had to buy some coolers and some this, and I know some sort of a nitro iced coffee fridge. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars. It's not $500 to just step in and make this happen. So, and then they had to interview the kids, and mind you, they went through the university employment, student employment office, hired all students, and that was her main goal. She just wanted to try to help some of these students out through the pandemic.
And then
that was it.
It
wasn't
up?
Cheap.
When did somebody walk up to her or somebody at Big City Coffee and said, "Hey, we need to talk about this thin blue line stuff"? When did that happen?
I want to say it was last week, and it was a result of a Snapchat post, I believe, from a member of the student council, the IESC, I think.
Okay.
And it was, you don't need to go here. They don't need to be on campus, yada, yada, yada. Went through the stuff, and you could tell immediately that whole ball started rolling. And keep in mind that you got to understand, there's nothing displayed, nothing promoted at the Boise State location. The only thing, even at the downtown location, the only thing that now is a little heart sticker on the front door that has a thin blue line and an American flag on it. That's it. There's no overt display of anything. And I don't know where it really came from or how it started, but all these posts started, and so they arranged a meeting that we went to with some of the administration and an assistant to the president and the leader of the student council. And it was rough. The second we went in, you could tell it was a pretty tense meeting. I was there, and I had my friend, I'm not going to say who it was, but a good friend of mine that I work with. And we went there, and it was immediately obvious that she was out of there, and they weren't going to budge at all. It was all she asked was, she told him up front, this is what's happened to me.
What problem do they have with Big City Coffee supporting Thin Blue Line? Supporting officers.
I think the problem that they have, you got to understand, 4 years ago, just about a month before I got shot, there was a mass shooter in Dallas that killed and 5 or 6 cops. It was bad. She, again, in a moment of support for the first responders that have helped her throughout her life, she hung a flag on the front of her business. A professor from Boise State on his Facebook post immediately blew up, who is a member of Black Lives Matter, boycott, sent negative reviews. Her building was vandalized. It just went for hanging the one flag up. And then I got shot, and she has known me since high school. And she loved the fire department. She loved the police and loved paramedics.
Had to make it about you.
And that was it.
Had to make it about you, didn't you?
Yeah, and absolutely thinking about me. When I got transported to Denver, and she provided coffee for all the people who were standing in 3 feet of snow during that year. It was a bad winter. And she was trying to, do anything that she could do to support me, because she knew me as a friend from back in the day. And now it's, I don't know what it is. She's a member of the Thin Blue Line organization, which, if people understand what that is, that's actually was created in the 60s.
I'm told it's a racist organization.
No, it's not an organization. There's no organization. It's just there's a very thin line, the police, that stand between evil and good citizens. That's it. That's really what it started with. And now it's been co-opted into this racist thing. And I beg anybody, anywhere, I'll give you my pension if you can show me anywhere that Sarah's ever said anything racist, done anything racist, exhibited racist tendencies, spoke out of anything. All she does is support the community. But for some reason, they're just going nuts about this. And the university is, and she told them that front up. That's the whole thing. She said, if something like this happens, just so you guys know, I need your support. And I sat there and I looked at all of them. And she said, the one guy said, why don't we take a break for the fall break, and then you come back. And she said, are you going to support me then? And it was crickets. Nobody said anything. And right at that split second, I said, I know what's going on. She said,
why did they want her to close? Why did they? What did they
were
want?
Getting? They got so much pressure from this IESC group, I believe. From all you got to do, you can go online and
look
at it.
I'm looking at the notes right now.
Document.
I just want to know what is it that the students wanted? What did they want her to disavow Thin Blue Line? Did they want her to disavow police? Did they want her to put up a Black Lives Matter sticker? What did they want?
They just want her to gone, Nate. That was it. She's obviously, they've made up their mind that she's some sort of, they've accused her of hiding her white supremacy by her money, they wanted her to provide jobs to POCs as kind of a, God, I can't even think of the word they use. It's kind of like to pay for her white supremacy, to give scholarships to people of color. It just went on and on and on. And this was all behind the scenes, Nate. No, she knew nothing about this. This was going on the day before she opened up shop. And if she would have known this, she never would have done it. And it's just devastated her as a result of this. And I think they're probably happy for that. They think that, she can't continue to go on because it's just going to get worse and worse. And she knows she's not getting the support from the university, which they had promised. And that's really the bottom line. She said, I'm not going to, fight this fight right now.
Friday morning, for those of you who drink coffee on a regular basis, like I drink coffee on a regular basis, Friday morning, if you have the ability to do so, please come out to Big City Coffee downtown at Grove and just get your coffee there. It's not a protest. It's just a support for a coffee shop. And if you listen, I'm sure, since it's partly your coffee shop too, I'm sure there's some fun there. If you want to buy a cup of coffee for an officer, that you guys can do that as well. All right. Maybe you can get Kevin Holtree a donut. God knows he hasn't had one in forever. He hasn't had half the pastries that are there. All right. God, I love you. It's the idea that I got the Buster chops today. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good day. I was so happy. when I found out, I got to bust Kevin Holtry's chops. You still have my jersey.
Nate, I'm going to tell you something. There was a time in about 5 years ago when I was actually an FCC FM radio DJ, and I told you this. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine that I work with, we had our own radio show on Radio Boise, and I will tell you right now, I was 100 times better than you are. And I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I was that good.
You still are. What do you mean was? You still are. It's no problem. Listen, Officer Holtry, we're here for you. We're here for Big City Coffee, and that's where we're going for coffee on Friday, man. All right?
I appreciate you. Right. I know that this is the best place to live, so I appreciate you letting me have a say. So this is awesome.
Thank you so much, man, and thank you. And man, I can't say it enough, and I know you hate it when I say this, but you are a hero. Understand, through all the BS, man, you are a hero, and the fact that you still reject that title makes you even more so. It doesn't matter what some group says. It doesn't matter what some group says. Some bunch of snot-nosed kids in some college. People who know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to let you respond to it. Just embrace it.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.